South Africa is ramping up political and economic oppression of its white minority, a stark contrast to the improving race relations in the U.S. One America's Kristian Rouz looks into the matter.
South Africa's black majority government is advancing its policies of white genocide, targeting land and properties in urban areas with its infamous expropriations bill. The legislation was previously allowing the Government of African National Congress, or ANC, to seize the farms of white Afrikaners without compensation, but now the Rainbow Nation's white citizens can be dispossessed of their apartments and city homes for the sake of greater social justice.
It's a political thing in a lot of ways. It feels like it's a political thing. So much seems to be hidden. It's transparent, yet it's not. You sense a lot of politics behind what is going on.
The ANC's Joint Constitutional Review Committee started public consultations over the proposed expropriations of land in urban areas several weeks ago, amid an overwhelming support from the country's black majority. The committee argues land grabs are justified by the dire economic situation amongst the black people in the country, who are struggling to secure jobs, housing or land ownership almost 25 years since the fall of apartheid. Despite the ongoing economic demise of South Africa is stemming from the ANC's mismanagement and corruption, the black majority government has intensified its attacks against white Afrikaners, who the ANC claims are at fault for the crisis.
So why must I give up my farm? Why? I bought it legally. I paid every single penny I owe for it. Every implement I bought on this farm, I paid for. I've worked for everything I've got. Now I must just hand it over. It doesn't seem fair.
Meantime, renowned South African comedian Trevor Noah recently attacked President Trump, comparing him to an African dictator and accusing the president of corruption, autocratic policies and inappropriate behavior. Ironically, Noah, who is a host on Comedy Central, made his remarks on CNN's show called Reliable Sources. Noah's remarks were largely based on the so-called Stormy Daniels payment scandal, which mostly consists of unsubstantiated allegations and blatant accusations against the president. Contrary to Noah's claims, the Trump presidency hardly qualifies for a dictatorship due to the constitutional limitations, America's two-party system and congressional oversight, while contemporary South Africa saw a rapid degradation of its democracy under the one-party rule of the ANC and the rampant oppression of the white minority Afrikaners.
This is a crisis situation. I think the government can do more to help our people on the floor. That is my opinion concerning that.
Noah, who was born in 1984 to a European father and a black mother, has left South Africa after the fall of the apartheid and a supposed empowerment of the black people in that country. However, the comedian would have no problem viciously ridiculing white Afrikaners for their desire to leave their failing country.
Most of the country was overjoyed. A few people were worried. You heard them whispering, "I'm leaving, I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia, Mary."
Additionally, Noah has been a harsh critic of the ANC's corruption and incompetence in the highest echelons of political power in South Africa. However, the comedian has mostly remained silent on the high-profile corruption in the US, which has penetrated deep into the Washington establishment during the Obama administration, as revealed by the Clinton email probe and the case of demoted FBI agent Peter Strzok, along with other congressional investigations. The comedian's random insults aimed at President Trump appear particularly egregious amid the oppression and economic deprivation of the white minority in South Africa, whilst on the contrary, the Trump administration has greatly improved the quality of life for the black minority in the US.
Business is very good. I believe that if you take into account the Trump tax cut, you take into account the drop in unemployment, and particularly unemployment for African Americans. It's the lowest it's ever been in history.
White Afrikaners are hoping to escape the economic genocide against them, as Australia has recently been weighing accepting the victims of land grabs and property deprivation as refugees. Meantime, hardly any African Americans or other racial minorities in the US, for that matter, have claimed a refugee status to flee the Trump dictatorship, as Comedy Central's Noah put it. But for the Afrikaners, whose country once was a highly industrialized and advanced economy, the days of prosperity belong to the long bygone past, while a national reconciliation with the black majority is deemed far-fetched due to the ANC's aggressive far-left policies.
If a farmer in South Africa is murdered, a farm is murdered, a community is murdered, and food security in South Africa is murdered.
The legacy of South Africa's apartheid is still drawing controversy over the issues of rapid industrialization as opposed to the utopia of social justice. Meanwhile, white South Africans are facing a mounting marginalization, brutal oppression and economic dispossession by their own government, a far cry from the economic prosperity and gradually improving race relations enabled by the Trump administration in the US. Kristian, Rouz, One American News.
We can use your help. Call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call today.